3 primary schools affected by Tropical Storm Erica will be ready for the new school term. Friction with the opposition at another meeting of Parliament over house rules, and a sizable number of students expected to be employed in the hospitality sector following skills training and certification under the DSC and the TVET Council. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details after this. First up, 3 primary schools severely affected by Tropical Storm Erica last year are expected to be fully operational before the start of the new school year in September.
The Collyho Primary School was the hardest hit of the West Coast primary schools. The Coolibistry Primary School also sustained significant damage.
The works include general repairs to the school building, construction of a road leading to the school building, the paving of the front of the yard, the fencing of the entire perimeter of the school, repainting of both the interior and exterior of the building, and importantly, the construction of a new toilet block and rehabilitation of the pedestrian bridge. At Coolibistry, we have actually issued contracts for the painting, electrical works, construction of a new kitchenette, fencing, and a complete redoing of the building, among other things.
The Dominica Guadeloupe Friendship Association had provided financial assistance to the Ministry of Education to help renovate 2 primary schools affected by Tropical Storm Erica. The Soufriere Primary School earlier this year had its roof repaired. Within a short time, the fencing of that school will be addressed. The Dalis Primary School was the other school of interest to the Guadeloupe-based association.
To date, we have issued a contract for renovation repair works to the Dalis Primary School. We expect the fencing to be addressed, the re-roofing of the entire school building, and that includes 5 different buildings, repainting, metalworks, plumbing, and at a cost of some $365,165.25.
The new Newtown Primary School, which was unaffected by the storm, began full-time operations in January. However, some finishing touches need to be done.
I'm pleased to announce that if you should take a trip to the Newtown Primary School, you will realize that a contract has been issued and work is moving satisfactorily on the fencing and retaining wall at Newtown Primary. A contract in the sum of $236,636.25 was actually issued, and we expect works to be completed by mid-August at the Newtown Primary School.
24 schools in total were impacted by Tropical Storm Erica. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Meantime, education officials say that further research will have to be done to determine the impact that Tropical Storm Erica had on students' performance in the 2016 Grade 6 National Assessment.
While we have not done a full analysis of that, but what we can say is that Roseau Primary School opened almost a month later than other schools because of the storm. The school, as we know, was being used as a shelter. Yet, 2 months, not even a month, 2 months late. And as we can see from the results, Hamish Blaise was the top performer, and he came from Roseau Primary School. And also, the difference in his point, he scored at least 1.5 standardized points more than the second place.
Channel 5 News spoke to 2 of the principals whose pupils placed among the top 5 for the GSAT exams. Principal of the St. Martin Primary School says the impact of Tropical Storm Erica was felt by both teachers and pupils.
We have 4 students from Petit Savant who are in grade 6. So, of course, it changed the dynamics of the students and the teachers. In the beginning, we had some teachers who were affected, meaning that their homes were destroyed completely. And so we rallied with our teachers and we rallied with our students. So it affected us emotionally and physically for some of our students. However, by second term, we started to push work. You know, first term was a bit slow and so on. In fact, we didn't even do first term exams, which we are accustomed of doing because we felt at the time the children couldn't take that in. But by second term, the teachers were on the go, parents were called in and parents were there and so on. So that, I think that helped.
Over at the Ebenezer SDA Primary, preparations for the Grade 6 National Assessment had begun since summer.
We started our classes in summer. We were here in the summer. This class was here for at least 3 to 4 weeks in summer. And when Erica passed, we started to push this curriculum as much as we could. Even those who were performing below standard, they have moved. Some got 2 Bs and 2 Cs, so I'm pretty satisfied with the results.
And on to Parliament now, where House Speaker Alex Boyd-Knight wants opposition parliamentarians in particular to educate themselves on the rules of the House of Assembly. Boyd-Knight had to refer to Standing Order 50 and 52 concerning objectionable and unparliamentary behavior in the House after she dismissed opposition parliamentarian Daniel Lugay from Parliament Monday afternoon. The contention started during Lugay's contribution to the debate on the Money Laundering Amendment Bill of 2016. Speaker Boyd-Knight attempted to stop Lugay several times while he presented, since, according to her, he was imputing improper motive, an action which is against the rules of the House. Lugay had earlier told the Speaker she was demon-possessed, and when he was called out on it, he apologized. The Speaker considered the apology insincere. In one of the instances, Lugay raised an issue about what he considered questionable proceeds from passport sales. But the Speaker told him that was more appropriate to be reported to a police officer and not in Parliament. She warned him several times before throwing him out of the House.
Finally, Madam Speaker, in my constituency in Rosenhof, I have examples of 4 dead people, at least 4 deceased, who cannot speak for themselves, whose names were inserted as beneficiaries of multi-million-dollar companies, whose names were used and abused by high-profile lawyers.
The member, take your seat now. I've had enough. I've been very patient. Just take your seat now, please. Anybody wish to speak anymore? I know, but just take your seat now. Or you want to stand for the rest of the afternoon? I would, if you were in a classroom, I'd put you to stand in the corner. What childish behavior. Okay, that's it. Now, you're going out now. I'm asking the member to leave because he apologized for saying something and he didn't even qualify this time. He called me a demon. Please leave.
The opposition leader also walked out of the House after the Speaker stopped him from making remarks which she said were sub judice, meaning under judicial consideration, and therefore prohibited from public discussion elsewhere.
Madam Speaker, I'm trying to suggest in the context of this discussion about preventing money laundering that we have an amendment before us which is fine, but which needs to go further, because we have examples on the record where
stuff has happened.
Citizens are complaining to the relevant authority, but the relevant authority is doing nothing.
Right.
And the law is silent when the relevant authority does nothing. I'm saying we cannot fight money laundering like that.
And I agree with you on that point.
You agree with me,
so move on and make your suggestion.
You agree with me?
But don't be quoting letters and things that's going to fly in the face of the rule that clearly says matters that are sub judice cannot be discussed. I do wish you'd familiarize yourself with the rules of the House. That would save me so much talk.
Linton walked out of the debate, ending his contribution prematurely. Meantime, Justice and National Security Minister Rayburn Blackmore says the proposed amendments to the Money Laundering Act of 2011 will seek to address the concerns raised by the opposition.
Just going back to what was said by the member for Marigot, the leader for the opposition, when he referenced the fact that the amendment in itself is not going far enough. It's kind of ironical to make such a charge, when what we are trying to do by that amendment in itself is to take away the restriction from the law enforcement agencies, namely the Financial Intelligence Unit or the custom officers. So in the past, Madam Speaker, before this amendment, the police officers would have to have secured a conviction for a predicate offense before that person could have been charged for money laundering. That measure, Madam Speaker, takes this restriction away. How can you therefore say it's not going far enough?
The most recent amendment to money laundering legislation was made in 2014. Blackmore says the Money Laundering Prevention Act strengthens the hand of the Financial Investigative Unit to investigate suspicious financial transactions.
So once the bank identifies any suspicious transaction, the bank or any authorized person working on behalf of the bank is obligated by law to report such suspicious transaction, Madam Speaker.
In other news, former parliamentary representative for the Wesley constituency has weighed in on the recent protest action regarding the health services in that area. Kenny Williams has this report.
In early June, the Ministry of Health announced that the Marigot Hospital was closed until further notice. Mold infestation at the building housing the Marigot Hospital and Marigot Health Center was initially reported to the health authorities on 23rd May, and measures had been taken to control the situation, including cleaning and treating the infected areas of the building. In the meantime, the majority of health services has been moved to the community of Wesley. Following that development, there have been various activities in Marigot to protest that move. However, former parliamentary representative for the Wesley constituency believes protesting is not the way to solve the issue.
You do not solve problems by protest. You protest if you find that nothing is being done when you have a problem. If there is a problem at the hospital, and there is, and it is being taken care of, and for a while the persons have to go to Wesley. Wesley was accustomed of paying the bus and going to Marigot. For now, I do not see the big problem about that. Yes, it will be a little convenience for a while, but the big problem I do not see about it.
Health administrators admit that there have been challenges moving Marigot's health services to Wesley, but the director of primary health care said health authorities are trying their best to have minimal disruption. Plans are also ongoing to relocate Marigot Health Services to 2 buildings in the community.
For years, the Marigot Hospital has served the surrounding communities of Wesley, Woodford Hill, Calibishi, as far up as the Carib territory. We have always known ourselves to be able to go to the hospital at Marigot. Something went wrong, but it is not like the government is not taking care of it. I spoke to myself directly to the Minister of Health, and I know it is being taken care of. And I think maybe being inconvenienced for a little while shouldn't be something that should send persons into a mode of anger and protest.
In the meantime, the Accident and Emergency Department of the Marigot Hospital can be accessed at the Wesley Health Center. The pharmacy is at the government-rented building in the area, and the dental unit is operating at the schools in the community.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, continued efforts to raise consciousness about our maroon ancestors. We'll explain. Thank you for staying with us. Marginalized and undereducated students with the 3 CXCs or less and others who are unemployed are being given the opportunity to receive TVET certification in certain skills. The State College is currently running a youth skills development pre-technology program funded by the UK and Canadian governments. The sponsors of the project thought it best to invest in the region's youth through skills training. Training is generally provided in hospitality, bartending, landscaping and maintenance. Meryl Matthew of the Dominica State College says the current cohort of trainees are learning bartending and housekeeping.
The programs themselves focus on hands-on competencies, so only 30% of the program is taken up with theory, while 70% of the program is taken up with practice. Why are we doing that? Because we believe what is needed at this level of the students is hands-on practical capabilities. what we're trying to do with that program also is to connect with the Dominica Tibet Council, who is spearheading that activity, to deliver and to provide certification at the national vocational qualification level. And this would very likely be the first of its kind in Dominica, where the Tibet Council would be delivering certification at the national vocational qualification. Now, you'll recognize once we decided to go national vocational qualification, we must interface with the Dominica Tibet Council continuously. And so we are working with the executive director of the Dominica Tibet Council, Mr. Abraham Dura, and together we are putting the packages together, we are putting the quality assurance systems in place. And so at the end of the 12 weeks, every one of the students will be able to provide to the Tibet Council a portfolio showcasing the work that they have done in this specific area of training.
The first cohort of 34 students started in January. In 4 weeks' time, the second cohort will end their training and begin a 2-week attachment. And the celebration of the 12th of July movement is just around the corner, and organizers say there is still a lot of work to be done in terms of sensitizing Dominicans to appreciate the contribution of the Maroons in resisting slavery.
Bernard Wiltshire initiated the idea of appreciating and celebrating our Maroon ancestors through the 12th of July movement.
So far, their contribution has been ignored in the country. Our children in schools know very little about them. And because of that, we think that the sense of national pride and national purpose, which any country must have if it is to succeed, has not, in our view, done particularly well in Dominica. So our aim is, in fact, to bring this matter to the country, so that our young people, in particular, can get to understand just what a wonderful, great history that we've got, and can boost their self-confidence, boost their patriotism, their love of country, and therefore make it, I think, easier for us to and for us to succeed in the long term as a community. So that is the 12th of July, why we're doing it.
The celebration of the death of Jacko takes place on Sunday, 10th July at 4:30 at the Old Market.
We started on the 200th anniversary of the death of Jacko. Jacko was the most important chief of the Maroons. They occupied the interior of the island. They had 14 camps or fortifications. Jacko, of course, we know the Jacko Flats, which was Jacko Heights. What do you call it again? In Bells, Jacko Flats in Bells, which was his headquarters. Abala and the others had the Grand Camp, which is, we think, in Montneg-Maon. And one of the things we want to do, as soon as this thing is finished, we're going to start planning to go and do an expedition to find this Grand Camp in Montneg-Maon. I think it's about time we reclaim our history and what belongs to us.
The chief of the Kalinagos will be the guest of honor at this year's observance. Wiltshire says it's important that the Africans and the Kalinago people realize their common heritage and what unites them as survivors of one of the worst attacks on humanity in world history. The history of the resistance will also be recounted on that occasion. There is a new song to the heroes to be released as well. More on this as the celebration draws closer.
That's news. A call for Caribbean pitches to regain the pace and bounce they once had. Sports is next.
In sports highlights, the effectiveness of the current executive of the Boxing Association is being challenged by one of its own. Top Glove Boxing Club boss Job Joseph, who is the association's technical director, says his colleagues need to give more attention to the affairs of the sport. His comments come ahead of the Creole Games on the weekend in Guyana, which will see Dominica missing in action.
I would like him to tell me about the upcoming game in July, which is the Creole Game, where Dominica had the best outing ever in boxing, coming back from the Creole Game with 4 gold medals, 2 silver and 2 bronze. So I wanted to know from him, what is the plan and how many guys we can able to send. We haven't got any response. So this morning, I wrote him a real lengthy letter and tell him how I feel. I told him that I don't think he and the rest of the executive, including Mr. White, is interested in boxing. So they should give way to who love boxing to govern the sport of boxing.
Joseph says he has made several attempts to contact the association's president, Dwight Lewis, for feedback on the matter relating to the sport, most of which were futile.
If after more than a month, you cannot give me information, you can't get back to me, and because you get a lengthy letter this morning, you're trying to call me and let me think, well, everything is okay. I'm not satisfied with this. Now the boxing competition is going to be this weekend. When I called the coach from St. Lucia a while ago to ask him about the guys he sent in Dominica on the 30th of July, to have the boxing competition. He told me they just came from Russia in the World Championship, where we should have boxers also there. None went. And they are leaving the island in a couple days to go to Guyana for the Creole Games. That hurt me, because I can remember last year in the Creole Games, the young guys did so well, and this is not one that represented.
Meantime, Channel 5 Sports made various attempts to contact Boxing Association President Dwight Lewis and Executive Member Philip White for feedback on the matter, but was unsuccessful. On to cricket, Australia's stand-in coach Justin Langer says West Indies cricket would go a long way to reaching its potential if Caribbean pitches regained the pace and bounce of yesteryear. After Australia won the Tri-Nation Series final against West Indies on Sunday, Langer said he had been in awe of the talent he had seen among local net bowlers over the past month. However, the pitches offered up during the series tend to be on the slower side, as has been the case in the region for many years. Langer says he has found it baffling that pitches were prepared that would help spinners such as Sunil Narayan, who he said was still going to be a star on many surfaces due to his natural talent, instead of fast bowlers. Langer believes that if West Indies could harness the natural ability of the fast bowlers, it would get the batsmen more used to facing fast and short-pitched bowling. Meantime, West Indies Tri-Nation Series captain Jason Holder says despite his team's loss to Australia in the finals, he is proud of their resilience in the games. West Indies went down to Australia by 58 runs in the Tri-Nation Series final on Sunday.
I thought we progressed nicely. We started at the beginning of this tournament, a lot of people didn't expect us to reach this final. A lot of people expected Australia and South Africa to just roll over us. Credit must go to the way we fought throughout the entire series. To put ourselves in this position to play the final was, just tremendous. We just fell short today. If you look back on this game today, probably I would say 20, 30 runs too many, and we weren't able to, quite get it going in the batting department. I thought we were off to a reasonably good start. We kept wickets in hand in the first over. I thought the new ball was always crucial. We didn't really give too many wickets, we'll give any wickets away in the first 10. Just never really got going in the middle.
Holder believes that if the team plays more one-day cricket, they should become better at the format of the game.
If you look back on our calendar year last year, we didn't have that much one-day cricket at all. I just think we just need more cricket. One-day cricket at that, there's no secret about it. The way the IC is structured their cricket now, you have to qualify to go into the IC events. It's just important that we get as much cricket as possible, particularly one-day cricket, to keep ourselves moving in the rankings. No point us playing a series here and then we don't play another series for another few months, whereas other teams get opportunity to play games and then move ahead of us. So for instance, if we make strides here now, it's important we have a series to back this up, in order to keep moving up. That's just how it is. At this stage, it's beyond my control. I just hope going forward we get some more games. If you look at the remainder of the year, we've got 3 games in UAE and then we've got another Tri-Nation Series pending at the end of the year. So hopefully that comes off and we have some cricket.
In primary school sports, The East have booked themselves a spot in the finals of the Sports Division Swiss Embassy Cricket Competition when they defeated the Southwest by a mammoth 277 runs on Tuesday. The East took first knock and posted 286 for 6. Moreau Burton top scored with 81, while Shanice Prevost and Daquan Etienne chipped in with 60 and 33 respectively. Jaden Austrie took 4 for 34. Set 278 to win, the Southeast was bowled out cheaply for 59. Jaden Austrie scored 15 and E. Lockhart 10. Shanice Prevost took 3 for 10 and Miguel Sanford 2 for 8. Meantime, the West Central won over Southwest by 62 runs. West Central was bowled out for 103. Kyron Phillip scored 15. Yanti Durant and Tyrese Libla took 4 each. Southwest replied with 42 all out. Shaquan Toussaint and Shaquem Thomas picked up 2 wickets each. Meantime, Siniku Primary was crowned the 2016 Sports Division Swiss Embassy Division 2 champions on Monday. Siniku dominated their game 17-3 to take the win. The Division 1 final is carded for Monday, July 4. And in basketball, 2 matches are on the cards in Wednesday night's 2016 Flow DABA League. At 7, the Division 1 teams will take to the court when Interschool go head-to-head with Fashion Line Falcons, followed by E.H. Charles Crossover versus Elijah Law Chambers Thunderers at 9. Both games are scheduled for Lindo Park. That's all the sports for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
Your weather report is coming up next.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Annie Corrette Joseph. The Atlantic high pressure system maintained its dominance across Dominica throughout the course of the day. This resulted in fair to cloudy skies throughout the day. Visible satellite imagery showed a mixture of low and high level clouds over Dominica throughout the course of the day. Radar imagery indicated some widely scattered showers across the islands. Conditions for tonight, fair to partly cloudy with brief showers. Similar conditions are expected tomorrow. Sea conditions, moderate in open water with waves up to 7 feet. Taking a look at the extended forecast, again tomorrow Wednesday, fair to partly cloudy skies with brief showers. A tropical wave is expected to move across the area by Friday. This will result in partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers by Thursday afternoon, and on Friday mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers. Some breezy conditions are also expected on Thursday and Friday. And across the region, fair to partly cloudy skies with some brief showers are expected across the northern and central portions of the island chain, and some thunderstorm activity can be expected across the extreme southern portion. On the international scene, partly cloudy skies in New York and Beijing, some thunderstorm in Miami and Caracas, and some rain in London. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:38 a.m. and set at 6:40 p.m. For updated information, log on to our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and join us next time. Good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. 3 primary schools affected by Tropical Storm Erica to be ready for the new school term. Friction with the opposition at another meeting of Parliament over house rules. And a sizable number of students expected to be employed in the hospitality sector following skills training and certification under the DSC and the TVET Council. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. To all our viewers around the world, thanks for watching.